Minecraft has a lot of mod packs, and the hardest one of them all is RL Craft. Want to use iron tools? You're gonna need XP for that. Want to even use a pickaxe? You're gonna need XP for that. Want human rights? You're gonna need XP for that. So what would you get if you merge Minecraft's hardest mod pack with the best YouTuber and the second best, plus 100 days worth of time? The answer is...
Boom! Run! Oh my god, he's gonna kill both of us!
Day 1 began with us on an island. So after finding some flint, getting some sticks, and breaking my flint for flint shards, I could craft a flint knife. Using this, I broke grass to get fibers, which can craft into string, which allowed me to make a flint hatchet, which allowed me to break a tree. So now we're at square one. I manually turned my logs into planks, used rocks off the ground to make stone tools, and then I met him.
I found LeBron!
What? Hi LeBron. I'm gonna kill LeBron. You can have a LeBron head. Just realized I didn't really explain this. Basically, first time we saw his name, we thought he was called LeBron. We went to a nearby structure. I took a chandelier, got scared by a ghost that disappeared, took some books, and then Theo asked me this.
Build a little hut for us.
Then I began work. You like my amazing hut building skills?
Yeah.
I'm about to die.
I think you're dying of thirst.
So to set my spawn, I turned my string into wool and made a bed, which I then slept in. Then I got my first monster kill. I then began a mine behind our house. I then crafted a rapier and used it on some mobs. Oh, I've got parasites. Of course I've got parasites. And with those lovely parasites, day 2 began. First, I put my point into mining.
You just died from parasites.
After that revelation from Theo, I placed a chandelier in our house. I also made a furnace to get some charcoal. I then crafted some unlit torches. To light the torches, I needed a matchbox, which I needed paper for, which you can craft with wood. I then crafted a matchbox and lit the torches. Went back down into the mine and started mining. Then we found a ravine. So I started mining some coal, realized I couldn't mine iron, and then we met this happy fellow around the corner who we walked away from. After we blocked him up, then I saw some sort of spawner. Only spawns spiders. It does not spawn a spider. It spawned a ramen.
Isn't that like a type of noodle? My god, gold and shit.
It's low.
This thing is low too.
I then respawned and made my way back.
Frickin' emeralds. Look at this.
What? Mine?
What? You say, and grab it all.
Then I was mining and this happened. Help! There's a boss! I killed him.
You mine stuff. Illusion. It appears I have been picked up by a bird.
Returning to the surface, it was time for a house renovation.
There's a birch tree coming. Move out of the way.
Yeah, you almost just killed me. I upgraded my mining ability so that I could mine iron. I then upgraded my mining again and got a skill. Finally, I returned to the surface. On the morning of day 3, I set off some iron to smelt. Then realized Theo had built us a farm. I made some iron armor and tools, which I then realized I couldn't use because I didn't have the skills needed. We then wandered off, seeing large aquatic creatures and being picked up by birds. I killed it. Oh, that's a shark.
There's a giant fish! Yeah.
Theo had died, so I spent most of the day trying to help him get his stuff back. From fighting the mobs, I had a lot of XP, so I put them all into mining again. It then reached the point where I died as well. And so day 4 arose while we were still trying to get our stuff back. When we got back, I put some points into strength. Then we set out on another adventure. It's just a... that is a dragon! By the way, I realised I didn't clarify, but our main goal for these 100 days is to kill this dragon. I then killed a special zombie which gave me silver leggings. First I had to invest some points into defense to wear them though. This footage shows how well it was going. Using some leather we made a canteen which let us hold some water since there's thirst in RL Craft. And so we returned home with nothing to show. On the morning of day 5 I headed back into the mines. Did a lot of mining. I leveled up my attack to level 5. Ah! He's dead. I then leveled up my attack to 7. I ate some food that made it so that I could hear whispering in my ears. I returned to the surface and set all my ores off to smelt. I then realised for 5 levels I could put my XP into more XP from mobs. Now an apprenticing attack. And I can now use my iron rapier. There we go. And this was also the morning of day 6. So with some new iron tools and a shield gifted to me from Theo, we set off on another adventure. So after killing some things and seeing a lava pool, we walked past some dinosaurs. We both died again. We'd adventured out into a swamp, only to die again. So as we trudged back home after finally getting our stuff, the morning of day 7 rose. So after being weirdly awoken by Theo being me, I invested another point into defense. The plan for these days was for me to go mining whilst Theo goes adventuring. So after mining XP, I got all the way up to magic level 4. So now I could mine this ore, which could craft me a heart for more max health. I put a point into defense. I have discovered a structure underground. I killed some things, then went back to mining. I found some more heart crystals, which gave me the amount I needed. Going back to the structure, I found this. I have just got sunglasses. So I leveled up defense before being jumped. Oh my god. So with me leaving so Theo could sleep, day 8 began. So I decided to go back to the structure until I realized the mobs were infinitely spawning. I found some pretty good loot in the structure, so I returned to fix up the house and also to craft the heart crystal, which I then realized you need magic 8 to actually use. I then put my 8th level into defense, meaning I could finally equip iron armor. I leveled up my magic to 5, then entered the structure again and found some pretty good loot. I started fighting these mummies, and that's when, without me knowing, day 9 began. So I continued looting and found a dragon scale and some recall and wormhole potions. 3 Lebrons, you say? Hello. After realizing there was no Lebrons, I used a recall potion to go home. After putting 2 more points into magic, I helped Theo get to shore. I then began sorting out our storage system and quickly went down into the mines to get magic level 8. I then returned to the surface and day 10 began. Okay, so now that I've got magic 8, I just used a heart container. With an extra heart now, I continued making our storage system. I also realized health worked differently. So in the bottom right, when I get hit, you'll see a diagram of my body. And if my head or chest reaches critical, then I die, even if I have lots of hearts. So I realized I could make bandages to fix that. The real ninja from Fortnite then tried to kill me, and the death of ninja brought day 11. The storage system was finally finished. Then I started looking how to craft an atlas, which would give us a map and coordinates. Day 12 then began, which, as you probably noticed, some days will be very short because nothing really happened. I mined some ores, which gave me the XP to increase my mining speed. I then decided I wanted to get all of my skills to level 8, so I started with farming. While I'd been doing the storage system stuff, Theo had gone on an adventure and died in something known as a combat tower. So with this atlas, I headed out to his location to try and help him get his stuff back. You can see how that went. Day 13 was very short because it was just a cycle of me dying and Theo. However, I did get a new waystone at a village near our base. Day 14, I served as bodyguard. Since I'd got my loot back, I was following Theo around, getting XP and leveling up skills. Day 15 was even shorter. We'd finally reached the combat tower, but just kept dying. Day 16, I woke up with a lion killing me. Hey. That was a way to awake me mid-yawn, is being attacked by a lion. On day 17, we set our spawn near the tower, so we could keep trying. But then we realized we weren't going to get his stuff back. We just kept dying. So we decided we'd head home. Then Theo accidentally did this.
Right.
Wait, did you break the bed? You're gonna spawn somewhere random. We reset our spawn here. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I hadn't killed myself, so I made my way home, but Theo was now on a journey of his own to try and find his way back to home. On day 18, I realized I could make a compass. Since Theo spawned somewhere random, all he would need to do is make a compass as well. Then he would know the coordinates of home. I also leveled up my agility to 8 and got a dodge ability. On day 19, I was on my own, so I did some mining, got my agility up a level, and unlocked the wall jump ability. That's diamonds! I then managed to get my building up to level 8 across the day and my gathering up to level 5. Still alone, I began day 20 by finding even more diamonds and crafting a diamond pickaxe. I would need mining 16 to use, which would be my next goal after getting all my skills to level 8. I then crafted a summoning staff, which I didn't know how to use yet. Then finally, I got my gathering up to level 7. So on the morning of day 21, I just went straight back to mining, got my gathering up a level, unlocked a building skill, and my mining up a level. Now for day 22, nothing really happened on my end, but here's some bits of Theo's adventure he was having. As you can see here, he found Shrek. On day 23, Theo had made his way back and he was in a cave fighting this lava monster that I went to go help him fight. Definitely didn't die. Then this happened.
Ooh, that almost burned.
No, why did you... He's just giving me weight while there's a lava... I'm dead, I'm dead. All my stuff's gone to lava.
Ah, crap. Wait, let me see if I can help you.
Yep, it's all just burned in lava. Day 24, I began reforging my gear as I'd just lost it all. And from killing those reapers, we had a lot of obsidian, so we made a nether portal and headed through it.
It's not too bad.
So there's a boss health bar, by the way. We also found some weird yellow ore. Then we returned through the portal. Day 25, we went to a nearby structure and ended up in another cycle of death. Day 26, I found this silver helmet for Theo that he can wear. And we also escaped the cycle of this structure. Day 27, we realized we were missing some of our loot. And then this happened to Theo.
He's not that strong. He's a pushover. Help!
After those uneventful days, day 28, we went back to mining. I found some more diamonds, leveled up my mining to 11, then saw some unwelcome visitors come through our nether portal, which we took care of, and then leveled up my mining to 12. Day 29 began while I was still in the mine, so I leveled up my mining to level 13, then went back to the nether to try and mine some nether quartz for levels, which went about as you would expect, staying in RL Craft's nether for more than 2 seconds. And then I died. And then I died again. On day 30, I returned back to home and found Theo was planning on building a tower. I then tried farming XP near the sea and got dragged into the ocean, and then killed so my loot went everywhere.
It's okay, Illusions. I'm coming to save you.
And these are the only notes I took for day 30. Day 31, I witnessed Theo's fully built tower, and then this happened.
What are your top 2?
Primal Fury.
What?
The apex are on.
What's that?
Primal
Surprised
Fury,
me.
yes.
Then this random event happened, spawning dinosaurs. I made sure to spend my XP on mining 15 before I died. But this was a good XP farm. We then noticed one on top of the lighthouse. We then took care of it. I then stared at Theo from the top of his tower and gave him a heart crystal. On day 32, the plan was for both of us to strip mine until we had high skills so we could use diamond gear. At level 16, mining 16. Boom, I'm now an adept in mining. Being an adept in mining meant I could now use a diamond pickaxe. I then started going for attack level 16, which I managed to get up to 10 before the end of the day. Day 33 started like this. Walked outside the house and there's a pelican and a hell beast. I then managed to get my attack up to level 12. And then in a cave I found this. Oh no, I've just walked up to it and it's made a... Yeah, that's... I then took care of them all and got attack level 13. Day 34 I walked outside and witnessed how many weapons Theo had to make before he made a good one. I then took Theo to show him this ravine I'd found earlier. I then got my attack up to 14 and found a common crate in this ravine which gave me a name tag. I then found an uncommon crate which gave me diamonds and cobwebs. And then we headed back up. Day 35 passed while I was in a cave and I got attack level 15. I'd mined enough heart crystals to make another heart container, so I now had 2 extra hearts. I've then finally got my attack up to level 16, making me an adept in attack. This meant I could use any of the diamond weapons, and I chose a glaive. On day 36 I killed a flaming spider, which gave me a heart crystal shard so I could make another extra heart for Theo. I then made a diamond strengthened crossbow, which I also crafted bolts for the ammo. It's very inaccurate. I then got my defense up to 12, trying to get to 16 for diamond armor. Theo then made us a reforging table, which lets us re-roll the random extra stats that are added onto crafted items. So I get some good ones like on my diamond pickaxe, and some bad ones like on my axe. They're legendary! I then re-roll my armor to get more armor on top of that. Then we head back down to the mines, and to end the day, I get defense level 13. Day 37, I was still in the mines, and then I went back up to get defense level 14, and then Theo set off on an adventure of his own while I was still in the mine. Day 38, I went up to help Theo get his stuff back. Then I headed back down to the mines and noticed there's nothing better than diamond until we kill the dragons. I then found one of those spawners and killed a lot of mobs. And to end the day, I got defense to level 15. Day 39, I tried kidnapping a nymph, and then we went on a joint caving expedition where Theo accidentally killed me. Then we found some frogs. I got my agility up to 9. Then we found a locked chest. So we crafted some lockpicks to try and break into it. And then I failed to do the lockpick puzzle. Day 40 began while we were getting resources to make more lockpicks. Then I successfully opened the chest, which gave us some more recall potions and wormhole potions. After some more mining, I returned to the surface and got my magic to 9. Day 41, we went exploring and returned to the same structure we died at last time, and the same thing ended up happening. I also found a meteorite, and finally I got magic 10. Day 42 then began. I shot a big thing, then went mining and found diamonds, then managed to get my magic up to level 12, which allowed me to get a skill that made it so I take no damage from ender pearling. I then found even more diamonds and got magic 13. Day 43, I continued mining, then used a heart crystal to get a 3rd heart, got my magic up to 14, reforged a diamond pickaxe, then I crafted diamond pants. A bit late, I then made a charcoal filter and used it to purify my water so I wouldn't die to parasites. Day 44, can you guess where I was? In the mines. I then got my magic up to 15 and then got extremely lost in the mines. Then started killing this mob that kept duplicating. Found even more diamonds. Got my magic up to 16 and then my agility up to 10. Day 45, I just did some mining. Then day 46, I put our enchantment table down. And then for 8 days straight, we locked in on mining and did a lot of it. So you ready for this epic montage? Never seen before levels of quality. You ready for this? Are you sure you're ready for this? Here you go. Right, that's all the budget allows for. Let's get to the results. And as you can see here, by the end, I had agility 16 and gathering 16. So my goal now was to get level 30 for enchanting. I also killed enough geonacs so that I could summon them. And on day 57, after getting lots of XP and ores, I left the house and this happened. No! No! RL Craft just can't let me be happy. I then put some bookshelves near our enchantment table and realised I had lost my diamond glaive and pickaxe. I then accidentally crafted a saber trying to recraft my glaive, and then made my diamond chest plate along with my leggings. Day 58 was a great day. I started mining until I could make my diamond helmet and boots, so I had a full set. Also made a diamond axe, and then finished off our enchantment table with the bookshelves we needed. Realised there was actually no way to disenchant our items, which wasn't great because my glaive had this enchant on it. So I did the level 30 enchant on my pickaxe and got the diamonds everywhere enchantment, which makes it so that whenever I mine any ore, there's a chance to get diamonds from it. So after dying in the mines, you can see here how good it is. Day of mining passed, and then day 60, as you can see from here, I had 3.5 hearts, 3 hunger bars, 2 thirst, and my body was completely broken. But somehow I still managed to get back up to the surface with the levels. Theo also built this little hatch because the winter was coming, so this would keep us warm. Day 61 then began, and Theo began expanding the house as I got dragged away by fear. Not even going to explain that. And then I began working on the farm so that I could do some expansion as well. Day 62, I finished off the farm, realised the water was freezing over. I had an existential crisis about the fact that we only had diamond tools and we were only halfway over the 100 days. But on a more happy note, I got master full on my boots, which gave me a bunch of really good buffs, as you can see. I also got it on my chest plate, which is also really good. And Theo also finished the expansion of the interior. And since I enchanted my pickaxe, I could get a new enchantment on my glaive, which gave me some really good enchantments related to damage. Then Theo died by accidentally glitching into the lava trapdoor on the surface. Day 63, I was still in the mines and I was about to head back up to try and help Theo because he didn't spawn at home, so he was lost again trying to find a waypoint. However, a lot of his stuff survived somehow, even though he burned in lava. I then got masterful on my pants as well, and did a level 30 enchant on my chestplate to get more protection. So with all these buffs, I thought I can definitely just cross over an ocean to go help Theo get back, surely. But as RL Craft does, as soon as you get a feeling of joy in this game, they rip it from you like taking candy from a baby. And as you can see here, I fought for my life, but I still died and lost all my stuff in the ocean. My spawn wasn't set either. Day 64, just continuously kept dying and respawning to try and find a waystone to get home. As you can see, my spawns weren't exactly always the luckiest. Things were looking not great. We'd spent so long reaching this point, 64 days, and we still were back at the beginning. I then found an acacia village, finally. I found a chest that had a bunch of food, and then I discovered the waypoint I would need 1 level to go home. I then grabbed a bunch of enchanted books from the chest, some really overpowered ones that spawned in the village, and went home. Day 65, I was finally home, so one of the first things I did was set my spawn in the bed straight away, and then I just had enough diamonds to craft full armor, and Theo died due to the winter, and his spawn still wasn't set for some reason. So I crafted a diamond pickaxe again and got back to mining. Day 67, I wandered the mines, and if you thought Primal Fury was bad,
Sub-Zero!
Sub-Zero.
Why did it sound like that? Day 68 was a full day of mining, so day 69, I found the Sub-Zero mobs, and this was the darkest hour of our experience in this RL Craft mod pack, because the season was winter, meaning even just staying on the surface caused us to die of hypothermia. So we ended up being trapped in a loop of just death and trying to get our stuff back, death, and so on. Okay, so are we even sure we can complete this mod pack? Because we've been making no progress for the last like 10 days. Sorry for the quality in advance. Day 70, the worst thing happened. It started snowing, making it even more cold, and I couldn't even get lava from the nether safely. And then we went back down to the mines, and the blood moon rose. Day 71 was a full day of mining. We began creating our strategy to fight the dragon. On day 72, I brought some lava up so that we could get a near source of warmth. I'd also got enough XP to do my first level 30 enchant on my pickaxe, where I got advanced efficiency, and some worse enchantments on my chestplate. Day 73 73, I got some really good enchantments on my leggings and reforged my helmet to Masterful. Day 74 was a bad day. Crafted a season clock and realized we're only midway through winter. And then after getting lost in the mines, this happened. But yeah. I've just... No. Well, I'm dead. Now the hope is... Yeah, okay, I don't think my stuff burned. Day 75. Notice how I started thinking about where my loot would be before I died? That's called what RL craft does to you. But worrying about my loot burning was the least of my concerns because I got completely lost. So I had lost all of my levels and all of my enchanted diamond gear. So it was time to start again from iron. Day 76, I knew RL craft would be hard. But at this moment I was thinking, how can it be this hard? Day 77, we were looking at weapons for the dragon. And as usual in RL craft, as soon as I got levels, I died again, and only some of my gear was recovered. Day 78 and hope was not lost yet. I used my summoning staff to realize I could summon Geonax, which would be very helpful in the fight against the dragon. Skipping all the way to day 82, you can see in this time lapse just how much we were mining. And finally, the weather had changed to spring. This was huge for us. And as we walked outside and saw the snow finally start to melt, a sense of progress finally came over us. I got level 30 enchantment on my chest plate, and not so great one on my pickaxe. Day 84 was spent in the mines. You can see the progress I was making. I was almost back to full diamond, and I was getting really good enchantments like this on my pickaxe. However, bandages were going to be a problem for the dragon, we realized, as we didn't have much string. Another blood moon happened while we were in the mines, but we decided to come to the surface to see what the blood moon meant. But judging by the thing poking out of our door, we realized we should probably head back down. Day 85, I went down to the mines, and you can see how powerful my new pickaxe was. I was getting level 30 in diamonds easily, and even though I sometimes died to parasites, I was getting my levels back in no time. Day 87, I continued mining, getting ready for the final battle. I made some diamond nunchucks to help with my fight as they dealt more damage the longer you held on the dragon. I also made a wooden tower shield, which I then upgraded to a diamond tower shield for defense. Day 88, you can see how good the nunchucks are. I kept dying to mobs still, even with all of this gear, but it didn't matter anymore because we had a plan. On day 89, I went to go get more XP to level things up, and even though I died and lost it all again, day 90 began anyway, and our plan was still in motion. Level 30 enchants were just things on top. I made the house a bit nicer as some final renovations, and Theo had also got an enchantment that made it so there was a very low chance he could just atomically deconstruct whatever he hit, so if he managed to kill the dragon with that, the fight would be easy. Skipping ahead a few days, definitely not because I lost the recording. Day 93, you can see we had a bunker constructed near the dragon's location with supplies in the basement. Day 94, I started farming plant fiber for string so that I can make lots of bandages, which as you can see I had a lot of. And here's the initial plan from Theo.
Okay, but I think what we'll do is we just run in, shoot at him until we need to run away, then weed a gapple, then charge back in, and eventually he'll die.
Now this is what my loadout looked like just before the time of the fight. Okay, let's do this. He's been around these parts too much. Thinks he owns the place. But we're the real life crafters. Watch this, I'm gonna hit him. Boom. It actually... Wait, he didn't get aggroed. Yes.
Wait, actually, hold on, give me a second.
This was great news, but for some reason he wasn't within Theo's render distance, and I was struggling to hit my shots, so he moved closer.
Big.
Yep. He's disappeared from me now. That just bounced off him.
Bounced.
What we then realised was, actually damage him properly, we needed to be a lot closer, close enough for his AI to render in. So he moved even closer.
See, now we should be able to take damage. Yeah.
Oh.
And we're getting...
Yeah.
Yeah. Not great.
Oh. As we suspected, the dragon was way too overpowered for us to handle. With all of the diamond gear that we'd spent ages getting, it still wasn't enough to prevent us from getting immediately one-shot by the dragon's fire. So we crawled back to where we died to try and recollect our loot and potentially fight back. However, because of the dragon's fire attack, I only have my helmet and my nunchucks. On day 95, we realized we hadn't even achieved the one goal we set out to do. And so we set out to try and complete a combat tower. Oh my alive? How am I alive?
Yeah.
Okay, something just put me inside of a block, and that is the only reason I am remotely alive right now. I am glitched inside of a block. But after a minute, I died. And so we went back home, not having killed a dragon or a combat tower. Due to that, we made a grave, representing our loss.
Let's chuck all our stuff in here. All our stuff being...
Oh.
Come on, we're having a moment.
And we chucked our items in.
Goodbye, the 100 days.
But not before doing some crazy things, so I made sure to go make water in the nether, and Theo agreed.
We lost the 100 days, like everything is just through. But we made water in the nether. Wait, there's a full
Wait,
source
it
block.
actually stayed there. The night before the final day, day 100. As you can see, we spent our time just building anything at this point. Hey, I got some food for you. Seriously, I'm seeing such good things right now. You have to eat it.
Well, that can only be true.
Yeah, you gotta wait until it, like, you know, fully kicks in. They're just so tasty.
dead.
They're just so... We'd built some shrines, and it was time for Theo to give a speech.
I stare upon the sunrise. What the heck?
Day 1, you and me were best buds. Day 100, we're still best buds. You just gave me weight, and I'm now going to drown because of it, LeBron. Oh, LeBron's child killed you.
So, we may not have killed the dragon, but...
Yeah, I was gonna say, LeBron, I did this for you. All of this, all 100 days.
You lost for LeBron?
LeBron, I'm sorry I disappointed you. Where's my last log off?
Probably near the grave.
Yeah, wait, he's trying to be part of the team again.
Yeah, gotta look good for my screenshot. 30 FOV.
As I took that final screenshot, I looked at the things we'd built around us. It only reminded me of one thing. The one person who was with me that whole time, supporting me from day 1. We worked as a team to get strong together. Of course, I'm talking about LeBron. Even though we ended on a not so great note as we'd lost, seeing our memories really reminded me of where it began. Oh, yeah, I'm dead. There's a sea beast on me, yeah. Okay, so
Go
a
on,
message
we
just
find
popped
a-
up saying it's pitch black. You're likely to get eaten by something. At least we didn't do
Oh.
this hardcore.
Hold on. If you punch, you just get ready.
Don't judge a book by its scary red cover. Oh, no, God.
Maybe sometimes you do that. You found cows. I, however, did not.
And that is the skill gap between me and you. Hi, LeBron. I'm gonna kill LeBron. You can have a LeBron head. Oh, I've got parasites. Of course I've got parasites.
Frickin' emeralds? Look at this.
What? Mine?
What? You say, and Rabadol. It's a birch tree. Come and move out of the way.
Yeah, you almost just killed me.
He's not that strong. He's a pushover. Help!
Yeah. Oh.
Sub-Zero! Freeze!
Sub-Zero.
Why did it sound like that? In all seriousness, thank you so much for watching to the end, and before you leave, just listen to this first. Playing for 35 hours straight with Theo has shown how cool of a guy he is, so definitely go check out his video for these 100 days. Also, we are both open to a re-attempt at this, where we have to beat the dragon this time, and we'll go into it with a lot more information. If you really want to see that, get this video to 1,000 likes. I know it's a lot, but I think we can do it. So that's it really. Thank you so much for watching, and check out some of my other videos.